call the meeting to order since we do have a quorum. For roll call, Michelle Goldsmith, Gary Harwood, and Mallory Matsuda are present. Donna Archuleta and Amanda Wheeler are absent. I suspect Amanda may join us a little late, so, but we'll go ahead and get started. There were no public comments provided to us to read into the record today, so we'll move on to agenda item number 4, which is approval of the minutes from March 4th. Council, have you had an opportunity to review those?
I have, Adam, and I got quite a few, Zach.
Okay.
There are a lot of them are just spelling. So, are you ready, Zach? Is he there?
He's okay. There
All
he is.
Line 44, depot is spelled wrong. Line 67, 70, and 95, you spelled Mallory's last name wrong.
Sorry, Mallory.
Line 97, I think you meant new hire and not hire, H-I-G-H-E-R. A new person is hired.
Okay.
Clear over to the end. And then line 108, you have Archuleta at the meeting making a vote. I think that should be Wheeler.
Okay.
Line 145, you butchered Mallory's name again.
It always spell checks that way, so no worries.
I figured it was spell check. And then line 152 and 152 is horribly confusing, hard to read. It was, no motion was made allowing Driggs a living RV trailer at the Rio Theater for 4 weeks while doing construction, comma, was not approved. I'm not sure.
It wasn't entertained. There was no motion, so
No
nothing.
motion was made is
Yeah.
probably all we need.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I found.
Okay. Zach, hang in there. We know it's your first go, so
It's your first
no
time.
worries. So, I would entertain a motion to approve corrections, both spelling and grammar. Is there a motion to do so?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Harwood to approve the meeting minutes with the appropriate corrections.
Second.
Have a second by Councilmember Matsuda. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Goldsmith? Okay. Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Moving on to agenda item number 5. We are going to, I'm looking for a motion to recess the city council meeting and reconvene as the Community Redevelopment Agency. Do I have such a motion?
I so move.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Matsuda to convene as the Community Redevelopment Agency or Authority. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Councilmember Harwood. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Okay, so moving on to the second agenda for this evening. I see we have a lot of guests on board, and I'm I'm happy to entertain public comment. Let's try to be somewhat organized about it, and we'll go through this. So are any parties on board that would like to speak to the Community Redevelopment Agency action looking at the Castlegate RV Park to do some reinvestment via some resolutions and other activities? Is that what most people are on for? I'm not sure. So anyone? No?
Mayor, this is
Adam? Oh,
sorry, Mayor. This
okay.
is
Hi,
sorry,
Jeff.
this is Jeff with Price River Water. Were you asking if we're here for the public hearing, or did we have a comment?
If you wanted to make a comment
Oh, well,
regarding.
yeah, I don't know until we get into the public hearing.
Okay, that's our agenda item number 1 is the public hearing on the draft project plan and the projected area budget for the Castlegate Community Reinvestment Project. So I've opened the public hearing for feedback.
Of what this is.
Okay.
Yeah, and
All right.
that's what I was going to suggest.
Okay. All right, Adam. How about, do you want to speak to it since you're our resident expert? And I'm going to ask everyone on this meeting, please have patience with us. This is brand new for me, for the council. So, bear with us as we go through this process, please. Okay, Adam?
Sure. So we have a handful of things on the agenda tonight relating to the Castlegate Community Reinvestment Project area is what we've titled it as. A community reinvestment project area or a redevelopment project area is essentially a designated geographic area where the redevelopment agency can exercise its statutory powers, whether it's, helping with infrastructure costs or offering incentives or any number of other things. So conceptually, that's what we're doing. The things on the agenda tonight are really the creation of the project. And then we have a city ordinance that is the other side of the coin, creating the project area. What this one is, it's a project area created specifically for the Castlegate RV Park. This is a development that, as I understand it, has been in the works with the city for a number of years before I got involved at all. And one of the things that's been discussed throughout the process is the provision of some sort of probably reimbursement for infrastructure costs, some sort of assistance offered by the redevelopment agency. So the things we're doing tonight, assuming they pass, are really creating the project area. That doesn't obligate any money yet. The process for basically securing funding for these type of reimbursements or incentives comes later on, and that's a negotiation between the redevelopment agency and all of the respective taxing entities. So at some point, we'll bring this back with a proposed terms of an agreement between the agency and the city, the agency and the county, and the other taxing entities, saying, okay, these are the terms under which we're willing to essentially give up part of the tax revenue here in order to enable this development to happen. The public hearing here is in particular for comments on the project area plan and project area budget. The hearing is a statutory requirement before the agency can adopt either one of those documents. I'm happy to answer questions from any of the agency board members or members of the public, or you give me direction and I will answer any questions you'd like.
So does this project qualify even though it's built or nearly complete?
That's one of the questions So one of the questions inherent in any sort of redevelopment project or any sort of incentives or reimbursement, any sort of help from the agency is whether the project will happen without the assistance being offered. In this case, at least the way it's been explained to me, the idea of some sort of tax increment funded assistance has been part of this development from the beginning, although we're only now just getting to the point of formalizing that. But that is the question that has to be answered. Yes. Whether this is necessary, and what I think Mr. Lund would say is, look, this has been a part of kind of the pitch to the city from the beginning, that there'd be some tax increment funded reimbursements as part of this project. But the point that it's already built does admittedly make that a harder sell.
So can I just add to that a little bit, to the history for those listening? A number of years ago, prior to groundbreaking, or maybe it was near the end, Tom might be able to correct me on the timeline there. There came a unexpected expenditure for the RV park, where there was some water lines that needed to be upgraded. And at that point, Mr. Lynch had come to the city asking for help with that, because it was not something that was in there, had been budgeted for the project. And at that point, we were not in the position to offer any kind of help with that at the time. And so, but we had discussed that, okay, we are in the process of getting this redevelopment agency area in place. And so here we are a few years later, we're doing the process now. So just a little background for others, and feel free to correct me, Mayor, or anyone.
I would just say we had to go backwards and reestablish the Community Redevelopment Agency. There had been one in place built in the 1990s. So we had to go back to the state, who suggested we just, scratch everything off and start completely over. And that took a bit of time. So it just, the mechanism just wasn't in place at the time we could have helped when he was possibly building. So
this is Michelle. I would like to clarify one thing too about the water issue, is that my understanding, and Gary, help me if I'm speaking incorrectly, but my understanding is the city does not help individuals or businesses water issues on their property. And because we've had other people that have had issues that run into hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and the city bailed them out or subsidize them. Or what they do, though, is they do work with the property owner to come up with a payment plan that is something that is that helps the homeowner out, or the business owner.
I think you're confusing things, Michelle.
Okay.
You're talking about in the instance of an existing water line having an issue. This was the creation of water lines and electrical support for a new development. So it doesn't equate to kind of where I think you were going. By that same token, I think Dominique may be able to weigh in, but I think you're right. We don't subsidize development as a public entity. We can work with people through the Community Redevelopment Agency, which is a post-performance give back. So Dominique or Adam, if I'm speaking incorrectly, please jump in.
Well, what the mayor says is correct. We do not assist on new development. There's a home being built right now that they've got to run their own water and sewer up to reach their property. And it's a main line, main sewer. So yeah, we just don't do that.
And the rationale here really is, so obviously typically the city, if someone comes in to develop something in the city, it's on that developer to take care of whatever is necessary, whether it's excavation work or stormwater or extending utilities. All that is just a cost of developing anything, regardless of where you're at. That's simply the reality of developing something. The rationale for anything that the redevelopment agency does is really what we're talking about is using incremental tax revenues, so new tax dollars generated by this development and the increase in assessed value, to essentially help get the development over some sort of obstacle that would prevent it from happening, or prevent it from happening in the way that we would like. The rationale for that is generally that the development itself has community-wide benefits. For example, if it's jobs, or if it's public amenities, or if it's bringing tourism traffic through town, these are the type of things that might make a project particularly desirable to the community, as opposed to, say, someone just building a house, which is probably neither here nor there from a broader community standpoint. So typically, in order to justify agency involvement in any project, the project has to have something that's desirable to the community. So we have to, essentially get what we pay for when we're talking about using this tax increment money to help make a particular development happen.
Council, any other questions for Adam or public? Again, there are so many of you, I don't know who might want to voice a question.
At what point do we start talking dollars?
Well, I think at this point we conduct the public hearing and allow people to engage and ask questions. And then I think at that point, we move on to the topic of adopting the resolution 2021 to develop or to identify the reinvestment project area. And then I think number 3 is where we discuss the approval of the budget and so on. Is that right, Adam?
Yeah. So what we're doing right now is just getting public comment on these 2 documents. The next 2, I guess technically 3 agenda items, 2 for the agency, 1 for the council, are the adoption of the plan and budget. The budget has some assumptions in it, but those are non-binding. That's what we think based on current projections and sort of what we've anticipated. The actual talk of, we actually get to talking about money after the project area is created, and we get to negotiations with the tax entities about these interlocal agreements. These agreements would be that the tax entities agreeing to participate at some level or another in order to help offer these type of requested reimbursements for this project. So this is the next step, the plan and budget adoption. The step after that is when we start talking about money in
Adam, you're
in real
breaking
dollars, committing real dollars rather than just projections.
okay.
I'm sorry.
So, Mayor, this is again with Price River Water.
I don't know if I need to repeat
I
any of
guess
that.
based on all that information, I do have 2 questions.
Okay, Jeff's got some questions. Adam, you were kind of breaking up, but we'll have to circle back. So Jeff, go ahead.
So my first question is, then we are looking at 2 components. One is an incentive, and the other one is a reimbursement for expenditures. Is that correct?
So tentatively, what we're talking about, and this is really getting ahead of where we're currently at. What we're talking about is reimbursing all or a portion of the infrastructure costs necessary to make this development happen. So whether you call it a reimbursement or an incentive, at some point it's 6 of one, a half dozen of the other, I suppose. But the justification would be actual infrastructure expenses.
Okay. And then my second question, it goes to the document called the project area budget. this is pretty nebulous. There's not and maybe that will come in the future.
That will come in the future. The project area
Okay.
budget is required by statute. It's really just a set of financial projections, or in a lot of cases, lack of financial projections that we know right now. Honestly, it has no effect on the actual flow of money. That's all controlled by interlocal agreements that will, if the district participates, it'll be an agreement that's negotiated with the agency and approved by both governing bodies. So the details of that get worked out later.
Okay. So, but at some point down the future, we will have a proposal. We will receive a proposal from the CRA that says so much per year for the next 10 years or 15 years or 20 years or something like that.
Yes, presumably, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Are there any other questions from the public for Adam or me, if I can muddle through it? Okay, I'm not seeing any. So council, looking at agenda item number 2, which is discussion and possible approval of resolution 2021-2, which is adopting the project area plan for the Castlegate Community Reinvestment Project. Questions, concerns? Adam, do you want to give us an overview of the document?
Sure. The project area plan is essentially it's all information required by statute. It's essentially the who, what, where, and why of this potential development, and not to negate the work of drafting the plan, but at the end of the day, the practical effect is to identify the geographic area where the agency can exercise its powers. That's really what it amounts to. That's the step that it truly accomplishes. The details of the plan are, based on what we know right now. The only thing that is, I suppose, truly binding as far as what we're doing is the geographic boundaries.
Okay, so that resolution essentially just identifies the Castlegate RV Park as the reinvestment project area.
That's correct. And if
Okay.
After that resolution and the corresponding ordinance at the city level, there are a variety of things that are essentially in my court to, some notices that need sent, some other things that need done, documents need recorded to officially establish the project area.
Okay, so council, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to review the resolution. Any questions or comments regarding it?
So if we wanted to do another area, it's just a matter of drawing up another project area and putting it together.
Same process. Yeah, we'd have a
Same
project area
process.
plan and a project area budget. We notice a hearing like this, have another hearing, but same exact process. Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Councilman Goldsmith, Matsuda? Do we want to entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2021-2 adopting the project area plan for the Castlegate Community Reinvestment Project?
I so move, Mayor.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Matsuda. Do I have a second? No second. Did I lose Michelle? There she is. Okay, sorry. So I've got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a second by Councilmember Harwood. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
No.
Okay. Councilmember Harwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, so now we've adopted Resolution 2021-2. So we've identified the project area. So we're moving on to agenda item number 3, which is the discussion and possible approval of Resolution 2021-3, which is adopting the project area budget for the Castlegate reinvestment project area. Adam, again, I'm going to ask you to provide an overview of the document, and council can ask questions or what have you. Okay.
Sure. The budget is, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is essentially what the agency knows about sort of the financial projections and what the agency is planning with this project area. As Mr. Harwood, I think, noted, it is fairly lacking on detail. That is in some ways intentional. This is very much the Chevy version of a project area budget rather than the Cadillac out of budgetary concerns. It does meet all the statutory requirements. And as I said, it doesn't bind any, it doesn't actually control the flow of money at this point. That's all done in separate agreements that come later.
So what's the impact for Helper City? So when you say it doesn't bind, so we're not determining percentages or years
Correct.
associated with the contract. We're just saying we'll approve it to negotiate that later.
Yes, that's
Okay.
well put. The
Okay.
actual details will get worked out between the agency and all of the taxing entities.
Okay. So council, I'll open it up for questions regarding that.
As long as it's something that we, as far as the budget goes, we can work something out later. And we're not committing to any money right now. I would make a motion to adopt it.
Okay. Have a motion by Councilmember Harwood to adopt the Resolution 2021-3, adopting the project area budget for the Castlegate Community Reinvestment Project Area. Do I have a second? I have a second by Councilmember Matsuda. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
No.
Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm now going to seek a motion to reconvene as Helper City Council. Who would like to make that motion?
I move that we move out of the Community Redevelopment Agency and back into the Helper City Council.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Matsuda to move back into a city council meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Councilmember Harwood. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Okay, so we've now reconvened as Helper City Council, and we'll move on to agenda item number 7, which is discussion and possible approval of City Ordinance 2021-3, adopting the project area plan for the Castlegate Community Reinvestment Project Area. So again, Adam, I'd like for you to give us an overview, and council can ask appropriate questions and so on.
So this is the same approval of the same document, the project area plan, as the agency just gave. This is just the city's approval of an ordinance. This is the process required by statute, requires approval by both the agency and the city.
Okay. Council, any questions regarding that?
So once again, we're not committing any money. We're just approving the ordinance.
Yeah, this is the other half of the project area plan approval,
Right.
which really designates the geographic area.
Okay. Any other?
I'll motion to approve City Ordinance 2021-3.
All right. I have a motion by Councilmember Matsuda to adopt City Ordinance 2021-3, adopting the project area plan for the Castlegate Community Reinvestment Project Area. Do I have a second?
Good.
I'll second it.
Have a second by Councilmember Harwood. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
No?
Councilmember Harwood, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Mayor, if I
And
can
it-
interject, Mayor,
Yes,
it doesn't pass. You have to have 3. You guys can table it for the next one, but given that we have 2 council members not present
oh wow.
and one
I didn't-
objecting, we'd be having to, if there's a motion, to put it on the next council meeting to have the other members here. So
Oh, what about the resolution?
that was under the CRA. So
So that was, okay. Okay, no, I did not realize that.
sorry.
So-
Okay,
Was it just because it's an ordinance? All ordinances have to have at least 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and same with resolutions if it's the council, but where previously was the CRA,
Right.
but where we were missing 2.
Right.
okay,
Might be something. Sorry, Adam.
okay,
So what we'll do is bring the ordinance back as an agenda item at an upcoming meeting.
Okay.
Some other business that should happen at an upcoming agency meeting would be, one is as housekeeping, adopting agency bylaws, which establish some of the procedures and, just take care of some housekeeping things as far as how the agency operates.
Mhm.
And then also a discussion about the money, the terms of an interlocal agreement. I would suggest that meeting, it may make sense to hear from Mr. Lund about, sort of why the project needs this type of assistance from the agency. And then, we can get in the nuts and bolts of how the agreement works and what the projected dollar amounts look like.
okay. So it sounds like we will have to table agenda item number 7 and come back to it at the next meeting. Is that, okay, all right. Thanks, Dominique. Okay,
Excuse me, do we need a motion to table or?
okay, yep, she's saying, so do I have a motion to table discussion and approval of ordinance 2021-3?
I'll make a motion to table ordinance 2021-3.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Harwood. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Councilmember Matsuda. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Okay, thanks for keeping us correct, Dominique. So that item has been tabled. So we will bring that back at the next meeting. And we will move on with our agenda. Number 8 being proclamation for Arbor Day. As part of our Tree City obligations, we are to proclaim an Arbor Day. So we're doing that the last Friday of April, and this is really just to inform council and to be looking for some type of tree-related activities, hopefully with kids or the tree board coming up this month. So that's just informational, really. So any concerns or questions about a proclamation for Arbor Day? No? Okay. Moving on, discussion and possible approval concerning the American Legion ball field. Jeff, are you still with us?
I am. I'm here.
All right, Jeff, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, once again, I want to say thank you for letting me be a part of the meeting. It's a little bit different, obviously, this year, but we still wanted to make sure that we are able to use the American Legion field this summer for our American Legion team. We plan on trying to run 3 different teams this summer, 2 actual American Legion teams, and then 1 just incoming freshman team from the high school. So that is our plan right now. I just wanted to maybe discuss some dates and answer any questions that anyone might have with the baseball program again this summer.
Council, any questions?
I have a question for Jeff. This is Michelle.
Yeah.
Jeff, how's the field looking to you? Are you pretty content with the shape it's in at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we have done, we've tried to do so much work year after year so that when we come back for the next year that there's obviously not as much upkeep and things. There are a couple concerns I had with needing some more of the green windscreen out there. And then we did put some conditioner on the infield 2 years ago, which has helped out tremendously. And I wanted to see if there was a chance that we could get another couple ton of that conditioner that we put on it a couple years ago. It just makes a big difference on the infield itself.
Okay.
Jeff, have
Sounds
you
good.
priced any of those things? You're saying the windscreen and the field conditioner, or Gary, do you have any information on something like that?
I don't have any idea. I would have to, start doing some search. I don't remember what that stuff costs.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'd be happy to get some pricing. I think we got the conditioner from IFA here in price the last time it was put down. And then, windscreen, we put so much of that up over the past years. I mean, I can get us, a really good price or bid on that. BSN Sports does a lot of our stuff for the high school, and they give us a discount on stuff like that. So I can definitely just price out how much we need out there and get an idea and get some quotes to whoever I need to on that stuff.
Yeah, if you could get them to me, let's see if we can get them on our budget. We're doing our budget right now, so.
Okay, I'll get that to you in the next little bit then, Gary.
Okay.
Okay. So Jeff, what are you seeking approval for? Just the,
Just to be able to use the field once again for our American Legion baseball teams this summer. That's, it's just a channel that I've made sure I've gone through every year to make sure
Sure.
that's approved. We can, we're looking to start playing out there again about the last week of May and play clear through the first week of August. We plan on having an American Legion tournament again. I believe around the 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th of June. As normal, we try and stay away on Father's Day weekend. Not sure if they're planning a car show again this summer, but we always try and not have any games out there that weekend of Father's Day.
So Jeff,
So-
the car show's been moved to Labor Day weekend. So if you wanted to
Okay.
do that, that'd be fine.
Okay, so that weekend would be open this year then if we needed to play. That's great. That was another question I had. My son Dakota is sitting here with me. He's actually been coaching program the last couple of years and has taken that over, and I'm just kind of assisting him where he needs help. And so I'm just kind of introducing him to the process that I've been going through with meeting with the city council and just kind of getting everything approved and answering any questions that anybody might have. So he is here, and I'll be happy to get Gary all of his contact information and everything in case he has questions on anything.
yeah, I think that'd be awesome. So thank you for everything you've done, Jeff. We want to keep that field alive. Baseball is really integral to Helper's history. So, thank you for continuing to use that field. So,
I appreciate all the support. I know we had a little problem up there. I'm not sure, but the clubhouse had gotten broken into, and the door locks were all broken off. And I know Gary's already let me know that they've put some new locks on that. Just one of those things I guess we deal with, with having something. We just want to try and keep it as nice as we can.
For sure. Hey, Jeff, can you send me, this is Mallory, can you send me
Yeah.
a schedule? And Mayor, I was thinking it might be nice to get it on the back of the bills when those games are
Right.
coming up so that the community is aware. I know especially a lot of our elderly community members really look at the back of the Helper bill, so.
no, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
you bet.
I get questioned all the time. What's
Yeah.
the schedule for the American Legion? So,
And I have no problem if you want to pass my phone number along to anybody that has any questions. It's the schedule. We really don't get a schedule put out yet until about middle of May. I mean, everybody's so wrapped up with high school baseball, and most of us coaches are the same ones that run the summer programs, that we kind of don't get that put together until about the middle of May, 1st of May time. But as soon as I definitely get one, I will get it to everybody involved and make sure that everybody has that schedule.
That'd be great. And then one other thing, I know that some people have been asking if you were selling like the banners that go on the outfield signs again as like a fundraiser. Are you doing that again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
actually running. We're running a fundraiser right now. In the past, I've run a fundraiser through the high school for our high school program. I'm not doing that this year. I'm actually running it for our American Legion program. So we're running one right now, but we will put the banners back up on the field and with businesses. So any businesses they're asking about that, again, if you can just pass my info along to them, I'd be happy to get with them, or you can let me know personally who's questioning it, and I can get with them and get a banner made.
Perfect. And then is that are you keeping the Facebook page up to date? I haven't looked at it. Is your fundraiser up?
We will put that. We'll put stuff. So we do have that Facebook page for the Helper Merchants American Legion baseball team. So we'll keep updating that. And anytime there's changes or anything to a schedule or anything, and I will make sure that I post the fundraiser information right now to that page as well. I haven't posted to our high school page, but I did not post it to the American Legion page. I'm glad you brought that up because that's where it really needs to be.
Yeah, good. And then we can share that from our city page and just help get the word out about it.
That'd be awesome. I appreciate that. Any idea on, I know it's always about the second week of April when we get water out there, when we put water to the canal. Is that still about the same time frame we'll be looking at this year?
Do we have any water?
April 15th.
Okay. All right. Well, if there's any questions for me, I just appreciate the opportunity we have to play out there. And, I know there's been a lot of, there's been some other interest from teams wanting to go out there. I know we're short on baseball fields and things like that. All I ever ask is that maybe that they contact me just so we can coordinate so they're not jumping fences and going out there and trying to get on the field when we're actually trying to water it and do things so it doesn't cause a bunch of problems.
Yes.
Okay, so it sounds like I need a motion to allow American Legion baseball to occur throughout the summer on the Gardner Field. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to let them play again on the field.
Okay. All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Harwood. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Councilmember Goldsmith. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Motion passes. Jeff will look forward to those bids and seeing those numbers hopefully at our next meeting. So thank you. And Dakota.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a great
Okay.
night.
All right, moving on, discussion and possible approval of Kimber Kuhn bringing music to the Main Street Park. And I think it's actually for 8 Saturdays, not 5 as our agenda references. So Kim, do you want to talk or present? What would you like to do?
Hi, everyone. Well, I'm Kimberly Kuhn, and I got to Helper about a year ago. I came for a week, and I have not left. And I noticed that your stage on that beautiful park, City Park Main Street, is not programmed. So I would like to entertain and propose to you guys that we actually program that stage 8 Saturdays starting June 12th with 2 bands, some food trucks, a beer garden, nonprofits, kids activities, artists, and really activate that park and get some action going on Main Street in that park. It looks lonely, so I think there's a lot of interest in the community to activate it together. What we would like to look at together is just a quick event overview of what I think that this would do to our community and Helper. Now that I think I'm a local at 1 year, please, I know that's a big laugh. This unique event will enhance the vibrancy of Helper community. all while bringing existing patrons, neighbors, and friends together to celebrate. The unique event will also encourage business incubation, giving small businesses and future hopefuls the forum and venue for their opportunity. So what I look at is the main stage is not only for music, but it actually is for a community forum. So in between bands, we can have nonprofits get up there. We could have small businesses or businesses on Main Street or anybody in Carbon County for that matter to get up on stage and talk about their mission and their fundraisers and what they can do to, enhance their business by being on stage and talking to many people. So my name is Kimberly Kuhn again. I have been in the event business for over 15 years. I created a event in Park City, and I've been with that. I started it 17 years ago. It's our 15th season this season. I shut down Main Street for 14 Sundays. Our average attendance is about 13 to 15,000 people per Sunday. I only say that because, well, first of all, I don't want to scare you. I'm thinking that the Helper Saturday vibes is going to be a nice, unique, quiet addition to the events calendar. And what I did with Kathleen Royster is I went through the events calendar for Helper, and we really dialed in on what the needs were for the event calendar by taking your arts festival, your First Fridays, and also your car show. And what I was looking at was to really get a gauge on how we can activate Main Street every weekend, not only during a First Friday, an arts festival, or a car show, but let's go ahead and sprinkle in some Saturdays of music and fun on the park, City Park. So the dates that we came up with are June 12th, 19th, July. These dates are also flexible. Right now, we don't have anything in writing. July 10th, 17th, 24th, 31st, 14th, August 14th, and September 4th, which is the last one, which would be falling on the car show. So those dates are also, coinciding with some of the Carbon County events, the Derby, the rodeo, and also there was one other event. Don't remember which one it was, but
Kim, I think it was the high school bicycle races.
what? Not sure. Oh, okay. Can you guys see my screen?
No.
What? Hold on one second.
I can.
I
What was
don't.
their
We
date
would-
in August?
We'd probably have to have Steve. I don't know. Steve, he's the admin of the meeting. I think he'd have to give you rights to share.
Yeah. Okay.
Mine says present now, so I can present. So other people should be able to present.
Sorry,
Where
an
did you-
error has occurred when screen sharing.
Yeah. Okay.
Kim, what was that other date in August? Or what were the August dates?
Hold on one second.
Okay. There we go. Now it's showing.
Yeah.
Yay. So do you see everything?
No.
It's just, it's,
How about that?
There we go.
Okay. Wow, that must have been really boring. Me talking. Okay, so here we go. Helper Saturday vibes. Let's get some action going on that stage. So there's some cute pictures. I love that picture of the stage, by the way. I think the stage is enormous and absolutely gorgeous, and I can't wait for people to be up there. It looks so lonely. And go ahead and you can read about the helper community and bringing neighbors and friends and celebrating together. That's what I really, really am looking forward to bring to Helper. And also using the stage again, once again, for a community forum like United Way. They get up and they talk about their initiatives, their fundraising, what they're doing. Anybody that could get up there and share about what their business and nonprofits are doing is a huge bonus. There's me and my family. We are a family-owned business, although this Helper project is really just me, and I'm really happy about that. I'm excited to get into the community here. There's your dates. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Got it. Thanks.
And these are dates that could change also for next year. We can add on May. Also, I was talking to Michelle Goldsmith about some options in October. We could do like a bike fest, beer bike fest in October, and other, you know, dates in September going along with some more biking stuff that's going on in Carbon County. We have a storage space and office space that I requested, 69 Main Street, just to help us out with a little meeting space and some storage space. So hopefully we can use that for a little while. We can rent it and have it insured or whatever needs to happen with that.
Yeah, you would basically co-office with the Helper Arts Festival, which they're happy to do.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Really greatly appreciated. This nonprofit that I started for Helper is Helper Shenanigans, and the first event under Helper Shenanigans is Helper Saturday Vibes. Vendor relations, also going into this project knowing that we're going to be creating jobs. I always have an event manager, vendor relations manager, marketing advisory board position, and these positions are actually seasonal. They're about 4 months. So if you guys know of anybody that wants to get involved, let me know. I will be posting it on ETV and also historic Main Street applications or Facebook pages. So vendor relations is a huge play for this market. We have an application process, a management team that helps with everything as far as the vendors communication database, artist recruitment. We go to other events in the area. We do a lot of marketing through social media, Zap, and also we use a program called Manage My Market. And I have a vendor handbook that does all of the protocols for the vendors, signage, your weights, the 10 by 10s, load in, load out, anything that you can ever imagine about being a vendor. And then we have a vendor university, which is about 1 month prior to the launch of the first date. The first date is June 12th. So in May, I'll have a vendor university. And what vendor university does is it incubates the desire to be a vendor. There are a lot of people out there with great hobbies in Carbon County, and to get them out into the market and get them selling their hobbies. And if you have a product that you've made, a special sauce, that you make great food, you know, we go through that process with you with a health permit, business license, anything that can help you get into that booth and start selling right away. Get comfortable with load in, load out, and just getting that confidence. It's a really great, great program. And I've been doing it for, I don't know how 15 years, and it's been very successful. I love the business incubation of it. Vendor social media, every vendor has most likely has their own Instagram, their own Facebook. So when you're looking at the market and you see 30 vendors, you're looking at 30 Instagrams, 30 social media, people that are out there and tagging in to help her. So it's quite interesting how we've all learned a lot in the last year about more social media. And again, once again, the business incubation. People will start as a small booth, then they'll get 2 booths, then they'll turn into a catalog and also incubate into brick and mortar spaces, which has been a huge success in the Sully market. Is we've incubated over 150 businesses into brick and mortar businesses. So it'll be really nice to see how that plays, because you have a lot of Main Street spaces coming up. Gary's done such a phenomenal job doing great renovations to some beautiful buildings, and getting tenants in there will be really nice. And then also, Cindy's got some great things going on. I mean, there's just so many great players in this community. So the day of Helper Saturday Vibes is we will have 2 bands per Saturday. Artist booths, kids activities, a beer garden, nonprofits, farmers, food trucks, and food booths. Just a combination of everything. Organized chaos, that's what I like to say about that. So at the end of the season, in order for us to get funding through sustainability, tourism, regional marketing, state marketing, I do an extensive report of ROI, demographics, attendance. I put out a Survey Monkey, and we also count all of our recyclables. So I love to run a zero waste market. What that entails is teaching and doing recycling at the market, where the cans go, where the glass goes. We have composting buckets where we actually bring to the pigs at the end of the day. We have a vendor breakdown where we can determine where the vendors come from, out of state, in state, local, regional, helper, Carbon County. Those will help us to gain momentum with more grants. And also for us as a community, the city needs to know all of this great information just in general to, future growth. So here's a quick example. Oh, am I just talking so much? Are we just gonna do questions at the end here, I'm assuming?
Sure.
Okay. This is an economic report, impact report. Something like a quick sample of things that we do. We calculate sales tax that happens for the city. We do non-Utah residents. So I have a lot of college students that will come to the market, and we'll sample through the crowds and calculate non-Utah residents, Utah residents, helper residents, Carbon County residents. So you can see like a lot of different, the attendance, and then also ask certain questions. Have you been to the market 2 or more times? What's in your group? How many people are visiting? Are you a day trip? Are you staying at the RV park? Are you staying at an Airbnb? And then these are also the attendance numbers with the recycled trash, landfill, and the diversion rate. And then we'll get more into booths to farmers, Main Street merchants. I encourage every Main Street merchant to put something outside on the sidewalk or actually be in the venue. It just helps, you know, if you're a new business, we want everybody to know about it. And I give away free booths to nonprofits, sustainable issues, and farmers. And we love featured artists, which I'm really excited to work with some of the artists here on some like paintings or sculptures, any action artists. And I also have done featured chefs, and we'll do like a little featured chef presentation in front of the stage in between bands. They'll go at it with like different recipes and super fun. So one of my biggest passions is seeing and helping incubate businesses. Through the market in Park City, I've incubated over 150 businesses. So here's a couple of examples for you, or a few examples. Lots of restaurants, lots of gourmet foods, even ski poles and whatnot. It's pretty neat when I go into Whole Foods and I actually see the products. Another source of measures: attendance, bike valets, landfill, glass. There's all sorts of number breakdown on importers, jewelers, gourmet foods. Okay. Marketing. We all know marketing. Marketing is key. Anything that says the word helper helps. The Harley shop, the cemetery, the RV park, the restaurants, the hairdressers, everything, you know, the gas stations. I like to say that because I think sometimes people forget that we're all in this together. So anything that says helper helps all of helper. And so I love marketing. It's one of my biggest things that I love doing is market places where I am and events. So we're looking at rack cards, press releases, TV, social media, radio, print, magazine, newspaper, email, website, and street banners. So I'm not from the area, so I'm going to be using a lot of you on the phone call today and people around the community to help with that. And also Tina and Rita from the Carbon County Tourism Department. Oh, my dog is trying to get me here. Day of logistics. Strong team. I work very closely with all the colleges, Westminster, University of Utah. Obviously, I'll be working with the college here in Carbon County. We work on load in, load out, and the team and myself especially will be working very closely with the police department and the fire department and the city crew. Not asking so much from everybody, but just contact information for safety. Missing child, someone gets hurt. I have, you know, a lot of different binders and protocols and all sorts of good stuff for first aid. But day of is setting up the first aid booth, info booth, programming, parking, making sure parking's available, timing the parking. Where are people parking? Are they parking on Main Street? Are they parking in the back alley? Where else do we have parking lots? And kind of figure out the times of when people are coming, when people are leaving. Also, I think I forgot to mention that the times for the market is 4 to 9 on Saturdays. The set up the stage, beer garden, seating, picnic tables. I like driving around in a golf cart. And here's your park, and it's beautiful and needs to be activated, and I think it's going to be a great asset. I really do. I'm excited. Any questions?
So what do you anticipate? Do you anticipate closing Main Street or no?
No, so
Okay.
here we go. We're going to start small, and it looks like I can fit about 20 vendors between the tree and the gazebo, between the stage and Main Street, and then closing the parking spots between 69 Main Street building and the gazebo.
Okay.
Let's work with that the first year.
Okay.
And then we can grow every year. But being it's a little late in the game, we've got to start really getting vendors, recruiting vendors, and making sure that we're not, thinking that we're going to fill 100 vendors when we're only going to fill really 30.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I think we'll grow.
Yeah, for clarification, I just wanted to make sure people realize that Main Street would not be closed. This activity would be focused on the park. So then my next question, Kim, and super supportive, anything that draws people to our community to stay and play and spend money is extremely positive. What role do you anticipate the city playing in this endeavor with you?
Support,
Just
cheerleaders.
support? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like you have building developers and you have Airbnbs and, the RV park and the Helper Project and you, Lanice, raising money. And I feel like the support I want to be is a piece of the pie that's a growing community here. It makes me actually emotional because I love it so much here. That I feel like my talents, I can contribute to the community. So my thing for you guys is just support, volunteer every once in a while, bring your friends and family. I hate to say it, but the equation really is the alcohol sales pays for the staff and pays for the bands.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So I think you're on a pretty tight timeline, and we did not include an approval of local area consent, which I know you're well aware of and you have to have. So given your timeline, would you think a special meeting is in order to make sure you can begin to move forward? Because we can't entertain that this evening, obviously.
Right.
Okay.
I do need approval as soon as possible.
Okay.
Obviously, I want you to think this through. This is a very big move for Helper. I realize that. But in order for me to get my DABC license and my permits,
right,
under Helper Shenanigans, I have very limited time.
Okay. Okay. So I don't want to delay 4 weeks and have this roll to May. So we'll figure out a time where we can get together soon to address that. And knowing your years of experience, I expect you have insurance and all of your proper protocols in place that protect the city, because we have to have that buffer. So I know you're a professional at this, but I just wanted it to be on the record that you're ready to do that and take care of those things. Okay.
So in order for a DABC permit to be effective as soon as possible, you have to be in business for over a year. So this particular nonprofit has been in business for over a year. Helper Shenanigans is under another nonprofit that I have, which has a $2 million umbrella insurance.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So those were my questions or clarifications I wanted to make sure the council heard. Council, do you have questions for Kim?
Yeah. First, Kim, you're still sharing your screen,
Oh,
but it's just everybody's faces now.
so there we go.
But so the question I have is just logistical. Are you going to have porta potties? Because we're going to need
I
porta.
never have porta potties. I always have those beautiful bathrooms with air conditioning and mints and music. But if I have to go the porta potty route, I will, of course.
Yeah, that's the only
but
concern
yes.
I can think
Yeah.
of logistically is
Yeah.
we're going to need bathrooms because the only public bathrooms nearby are the two on the pavilion, and they're just not going to be enough.
Yes, and also, so we have bathrooms, we have a signage plan. So the signs going off the ramps, going back on the ramps, at a lot of your existing new signs will have, you know, A-frames. We'll have a beer garden fencing around the venue. Trying to think of what other things that I think that's about.
So
And you have
I would
electricity in the
like-
back.
Okay.
Right. I would like to just kind of inform the other council members. I have met with Kim and a couple other people on pre-planning. I am confident that she is going to follow all of our city regulations and all of the state regulations and everything she needs to do this in a professional and fun way. I'm real excited about seeing what happens this summer. So, and with that in mind, I actually would just like to make a motion that we approve that she brings music to the park. I know the other stuff will have to wait for a special meeting, and hopefully we can get that in the next week or possibly two, but hopefully in the next week or so, or whatever the timeline is. But that aside, we could at least get started with approving having the music.
Okay. So
Michelle,
I
if I can jump in real quick. I just have a quick question.
Sure.
Has anybody talked to Chris or the chief?
Has anybody talked to him?
Yeah.
Is he on? Yeah, he's on.
I thought he was on.
Okay,
There he is.
Chris is there. Good. I just wanted to make sure
I
he
can't
was
wait to work with Chris. I've been waving at that guy for a year. My hair looks great from his girlfriend's.
So I just wanted to make sure he was here and was
Do you have
aware.
any thoughts, Chief?
No, I'll look forward to meeting with you and discussing whatever other concerns you have. So whenever you're ready.
Great. As soon
Okay.
as it's approved, you're my first phone call, the fire department and police department, and then city services, the park maintenance.
Okay, so I currently have a motion on the floor from Council Member Goldsmith to approve bringing music to the Main Street Park for 8 Saturdays over the summer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Council Member Harwood. Council Member Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Council Member Harwood?
Yes.
Council Member Matsuda?
Yes, very excited.
Awesome. Congrats, Kim. I'm sure you'll be meeting with and talking with all of our staff, and they're all great people. You're going to enjoy your engagement with Helper. So,
Thank you.
okay. All right. Moving on. Agenda item number 11, discussion and possible approval of Steve Giacoletto's parcel number 1A-386-3. So I believe we have a positive recommendation for this. Jean, do you want to speak to it? You're muted. You're muted. Still muted. I can't unmute you. No, can't hear you. You're muted. Jean, you're muted. You're talking, but no one can hear you. There we go.
Now can you?
I
there,
can now.
Okay.
Okay.
The little thing finally came up.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So
It's actually, the agenda isn't quite right. It's the discussion and possible approval of Steve Giacoletto's amended subdivision, the Giacoletto subdivision and amended plat with a portion of it being vacated. The parcel number just relates to one parcel in that subdivision, but it's Zach's first time and he doesn't really understand those things, and I will try to be more helpful next time, Zach.
okay.
The planning commission did approve it, and the plat is at the down at the city offices, and it does have signatures now. When I first looked at the plat, with my experience with the recorder's office, I had a problem because there was a dedication on there, and you dedicate when you're making a new subdivision or you're dedicating the different lots. I felt like it needed to be a relinquishment, and it was fixed to where there is a relinquishment. The wording isn't quite, but I'm awful fussy what I would put on one if it were me. But if Dominique approves it, it's okay with me. I don't have to be that picky.
Dominique, did you have any feedback? Are you comfortable legally?
I'm comfortable with it. I just wanted to check, did you guys get the ordinance? Because I just noticed that's not on. Because there's ordinance to pass
Yes.
to vacate part of the subdivision.
Yes.
You guys would need that.
Okay, so that doesn't appear on my agenda, so I don't think I can entertain it. It was the tabled, the one tabled previously?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to look at you, Dominique. Do I need to table it because it doesn't appear on this agenda?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
that's probably exactly what would have to happen since it's not on there.
Okay. So we need to go back to last month's agenda and pull the ordinance to do the approval.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay. Steve, I'm sorry, we're going to need to table that. So Zach, if you could make a note to pull the verbiage from March's agenda regarding the ordinance, according to Steve Giacoletto's property change, that would be awesome. Okay.
If
Is that
I might,
same situation for the next agenda item?
I don't, did we have the Sidwells on the previous
No,
agenda? No, that's new.
That's new.
Yeah. Okay.
It's new.
Okay. So I'm going to
So,
need to table.
Hey, I had a question, Mayor.
Sure.
I don't know if Steve's still on, but does tabling this a second time slow him up in anything he wants to get done? Or do we need to plan a special meeting for this?
well, I was going to recommend putting it on with
Right.
Kimberly.
Local consent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to add that also.
Okay. So we'll entertain at our special meeting.
Steve's showing us a message on his,
I don't see him.
let me see. It says, oh, I can't see it. It's really small. I can't read it, Steve. There, yes. Can you hear me? No, we cannot hear you. You're muted.
I don't see him even on the meeting.
They might be in your, so if you look at the top, Lenise, it'll show you like there's like two little icons of people and it says 19.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
And then next to that, it says, and two more and one more. You might need to click on that and then you could see his, because he's probably in the next slide over of people. Because it only shows so many on one.
Yeah, on the one. Were you able to unmute, Steve?
No, they're muted. But yeah, we could put that on the same of the
The
special.
special meeting.
And then maybe Tom's too. Was there something with Tom that? Oh yeah, because we didn't. Tom Lund for the Castlegate RV park ordinance that we were not able to pass because we didn't have 3.
Yeah, you could put that on there too.
Okay.
And no, the ordinance does need to be recorded with the plat, so the city does have to approve the ordinance and the plat.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to need a motion to table agenda item number 11 regarding Steve Giacoletto's property alterations. Do I have a motion?
I make the motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Goldsmith. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Councilmember Harwood. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes, and I just read Steve's message and it said that is wrong, so I'm not sure what he's saying, but like what? Oh, he's asking what is wrong. Maybe clarify for him what happened.
Sure. So what happened, Steve, is we did not bring over the proper language to vote on an ordinance here that you have to have. So we're unable to entertain it at the meeting because it wasn't part of our published agenda. So what we're proposing is we're going to have a special meeting probably next week, and we will entertain your motion there with the proper language and approval for it. So, so we're just going to delay it. As soon as I can get council together next week, we'll host a special meeting and we will let you know so that you're aware of what's going on. And I apologize again. Long meeting. You know, we have Zach who's learning and is going to do a great job. You know, some of this is just experience and he's getting that. So, okay.
Do we need to ride? I got something on my screen. Do we need to?
No, you don't need to redo the Mylar.
Oh, redo
No. This is a logistics issue. It's not an issue with what they've done. It just
wasn't on the agenda. So
properly.
Right.
Yeah. That's all. Yep. So that's not on them. That's us. So. Okay.
And then just so council's aware, the ordinance is drafted to have a draft of the Mylar, the picture of the Mylar as Exhibit A. So you should get that with the ordinance.
Okay. And we've got it here at City Hall. So it's here and available. Okay. So now I don't remember. Did we vote on our tabling? Yes. Okay. Sorry. Long meeting. Sorry, Steve. We'll get back to you as quickly as we can. Moving on, discussion and possible approval of amending Stephen and Shauna Sidwell's plat. So Jean, again, I'm going to turn that over to you.
Okay, it's actually amending the plat of the Beverly subdivision. And here again, we just have some parcel ID numbers. They have, I think the plat is at City Hall. I looked at it. It's absolutely perfect. The board approved it and you should have a notice. And all they're doing is actually making 2 lots out of 3 in the Beverly subdivision where they're going to put their new home and build another one.
Wonderful.
And so I would ask the council to approve that amended subdivision plat.
Questions, council, for Jean or Shauna? No?
This
I don't
doesn't
have
need
a
an
question.
ordinance?
This is Michelle.
No, Gary, that you need an ordinance when you vacate a portion, which is what
Okay.
Stephen is doing. They're just amending, making 2 lots
Right.
out of
We're
3.
just moving a couple of lot lines. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And actually, I was just going to state,
Right.
if you look at the code,
And I would like to,
it's a great additional step, but when it's a lot line adjustment, planning and zoning can approve that. So,
But
Oh,
they're actually amending the subdivision plat. It's not just a lot line adjustment.
are they?
Yeah, they're actually amending the plat, because if it were just a parcel, a couple of parcels, but where it's in a subdivision, then you do need to amend it. Our application does say lot line adjustment, but it's more than that.
Okay.
Sorry. We need to fix our application is what we need to do.
So, yeah, I would just like to add that Shauna has been at the last 2 planning and zoning meetings, and they have surveyed their property. There's big stakes and flagging tape everywhere. They have done an excellent job every step of the way of this process.
They have
Okay.
been a real joy to work with.
so I will, if there are no further questions, I'll seek a motion to approve the amending of Stephen and Shauna Sidwell's property. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to amend the Stephen and Shauna Sidwell's property.
Have a motion by Councilmember Harwood. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by
Michelle.
Councilmember Goldsmith. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes. Welcome to help. Welcome
Yes.
to help.
We're glad to have you. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do. So good luck. Let us know if you need anything or we can help, okay?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council.
Thank you for your patience. Okay. All right. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 13, discussion and possible approval of the interlocal cooperation building agreement with Carbon County. Todd Thorne discovered our agreement with Carbon County had lapsed years ago. This goes to the permitting and building inspections that we rely on Carbon County to conduct for Helper City. It's a pretty straightforward, brief agreement. Dominique, I don't know if you want to give us, I know of no concerns, but do you have any?
I don't
No?
have any.
Okay. So it's just how we'll conduct business with them in the course of building inspections and permitting and so on. So
this is what has been happening all along. There was just a formality of this document had lapsed and nothing's going to change. It's going to be this
No.
past then.
yeah, actually, the other one was way more convoluted and it turned into us overpaying them and them having to it was a mess. This is a lot cleaner and it will automatically renew if no party comes to the table within 60 days of renewal to renegotiate. So that way we don't wake up 10 years later and go, oopsie, which is what we did. So. Any other questions?
I make a motion to approve the interlocal cooperation agreement with Carbon County.
Have a motion by Councilmember Harwood. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a second by Councilmember Matsuda. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Harwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda?
Yes.
Woohoo. Okay. On to agenda item 14, city parking. So I'm going to turn this over to Councilmember Matsuda, who had requested this on the agenda. So we'd love to hear from you.
Sorry guys, I didn't realize this was going to be such a long meeting. I could have maybe tabled it for the next time, but we'll just go ahead and get into it. I just had a feeling that we probably need to start discussing city parking as things are going to get busier in town, especially now with Helper Saturday vibes and activating the Rio Theater and just more visitors coming to town, more events. I just wanted to talk about, city parking with the Rio Theater. Do we need to get the parking lot striped? Just things of that nature so that when visitors come to town, they know what is city parking, what isn't, there's we have other little parking section, like city land that's not really clearly marked. So people aren't sure, where they could be parking. I just wanted to open it up for discussion. Also, we had talked about the cement barricades along the river going out, Gary, at one time, and that we were waiting on the thumb for the machine. Is that what was going on?
That machine won't lift them. You got to have a bigger machine.
Oh, okay.
So it's something that, we have to work with either a contractor or the county and I just haven't followed up on it.
Yeah. Okay. So just wanted to bring that up again. And, it might be nice to do, what do they call it? The split rail fence along there. It would match the little wooden bridge that's on the walkway, that split rail fence. And I know that, that it might just look nice and we could designate parking with it. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it because so that we're playing offense instead of defense when, oh shit, now we have now we have a parking problem.
Yeah.
And I just want to get ahead of it is all I'm saying.
I'd like to see this on the next agenda as well. I think you're right. I think you're being proactive. And maybe, we can all look at it and see, I like the idea of striping. Should we be doing it over there on 100 West? I don't know, but I think you're wise to bring it up because it's fast going to be a problem.
Yeah. And maybe we can look at it for the next time, but now be thinking about it and looking at, the county has the Carbon County GIS. If you go on the county's website, you can see all the property lines and who owns what, and you can see where Helper City owns and where could we sneak in a couple more parking spots, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And was that a part of the USU plan, Mayor, that was put,
I'd have to review it. I don't think so, but like the first thing that comes to my mind is signage to point people to, oh, you can park here or you can park there. Beyond just the normal street parking, I'd have to pull it and look at the master plan and see if they addressed it. So
I think it'd be a good idea to have signage or pointing to where some of those big recreational vehicles could park.
Yeah. When they come with their boats or their trailers and stuff.
Yeah, because probably pull in and take up the whole river parking with one truck and trailer.
Yeah. No, I think this is a great topic we should be discussing. And maybe if we all take the action item of looking at it and coming back next meeting with some concrete suggestions, like let's do these things, and then we can kind of examine it and try to move it forward. So.
Okay. We can move on to the next item.
Okay. Moving on, I just keep the employee pay scale. I want to keep it on everyone's agenda. Hopefully people are doing reviews. Those are due at the end of the month. And I believe Zach had proactively pulled together just some numbers so we can begin to noodle on this. I don't know that we need to really adopt anything right now, but Zach, do you want to talk about what you were doing in projecting what raises might happen and what the budget impact might be?
Okay, yeah. So I did do a little bit of work to see where everything was at. Because if we give a 25-cent raise, which are the increments that the steps are in, it doesn't cost the city 25 cents. It costs us more. So for about every 25 cents we spend on a raise, it's going to cost us 35 cents.
Okay.
For full-time employees. Just because we have the pension plan, they do the contributing to the 401k. We have the long-term disability, the health insurance costs. So that does add up. For part-time employees, it's 28 cents for every 25 cents. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, those are the costs associated with the increase in pay. We increase their 401k contribution, we increase their health insurance, all of that.
Yes.
So, did you happen to project out, like, let's say we have 30 employees, what would the impact be if everyone got 25 cents, understanding that it's really closer to 35 cents? Did you do that? I'm just asking.
For the whole year?
Yeah, like what would the overall budget impact be for something like that? If we just did straight across the board. I mean, I'm just trying to get a number, if that makes sense.
So it'll be around 20, I would say 23,500, right around.
Okay, so that would be the increase overall. And I figure some people will get raises, some people might not. You know, it will depend on the situation and how they land. But if we were going to give everyone that raise, we're looking at a yearly increase of $23,000 in labor, and that includes the health and everything. Yes?
Yes, it should, but it's kind of an estimate. It's not going to be the most accurate.
Sure. No, I understand that. It's really so we kind of have a number we're thinking about as we move into the budget process, and can say, okay, if we need to find $25,000, you know, how, where, what can we do to find it? So that's what I was trying to get to. So that's perfect. Do you have any other questions for Zach? I mean, I just want people noodling on this, I guess, really. No other questions?
No.
Okay. And I really would love Amanda to be here because she's done all of that legwork, which is another reason why I think, you know, we just kind of talk about it and get down to it when we're doing budgeting. So, if no further discussion on that topic, I'd like to move to reports. So, Councilmember Matsuda, you're at the top of my screen, so I'm going to start with you.
I just want to say things are going really great at the museum, and we've been having monthly board meetings, which has been really exciting. We have a Railfans photography contest that's opened up, and people can submit their pictures, any railroading pictures from the local area, to the contest. And then we will be announcing the winners during the Arts Festival. People can come into the community throughout the show and vote for their favorite one. There will be like a visitor's favorite choice type of award and several other awards. And we've already had quite a few submissions, so that's exciting. Yeah, so it's been really nice having these monthly meetings. We're going to do monthly for the next while as we get things organized and stuff, and then we'll move to bi-monthly and then quarterly probably, but maybe not. Maybe we'll just be so busy with so much fun things to do. But yeah, so that's all I have, Mayor.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you. I'm excited to see the museum doing well, so that's great. Okay, Councilmember Goldsmith.
So I've been working on 3 or 4 projects, but I want to wait till next month, I think, before I present them. I think people are doing much better at picking up after their pets. I'm hearing less, seeing less, so yay. We have signs up now on the waterway, which goes from basically the cemetery road on out to the tunnel. And people should not be on that road, even though it looks like a dirt road,
with motorized vehicles. There are signs asking them to not. There are signs down by where the new house is being built down there, and people are still on the road. So Darius has asked that, Mayor, maybe we put some signage up to the places where the RTV or ATVs and the dirt bikes can go, like pointing people up to the Kenilworth Road, and maybe getting some kiosks out to the beginning of that trail so that we get people going in the proper direction and on those countywide trail roads instead of through the city and on places where vehicles are not allowed. So nothing to report on dark skies as yet. So, and Trails Group met on Tuesday. They are working on a project to get the Gordon Creek area developed into a campground. So that's it.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Harwood?
So as you're aware, we had vandalism at the auditorium, and the adjuster came down on the March 17th. The total damages was $19,980, which we got to check on the 24th for that amount. We also had a vendor for Central Commission saw the article on the news, and he donated some paint. So he donated any paint that we needed to do any painting. So we spent almost 3 weeks cleaning up that mess.
Yeah.
And then we went from there. We went to the swinging bridge. We finally got all the material in today for the bridge. We'll be able to finish that up. And the seasonals will start April 5th, next Monday. And one of my regular guys is quitting. He's moving on. We had a water leak on Welby Street, and we've fertilized all the parks.
Awesome.
That is it.
Yeah, thanks for your work on the auditorium. That's always heartbreaking, but I'm glad we had insurance, and I see cameras everywhere now. So yeah, so thank you for that and your work on the swinging bridge. It's appreciated. Okay, Dominique, do you have anything to report? There she is. No. Okay. Chief Gelati? Yes.
Can you hear me? Cool. Just a couple quick things. I forgot to mention last month that the last 2 weeks of March, the department was involved with what was it? It's pedestrian bicycle safety enforcement campaign that was funded by the state. They gave us enforcement overtime shifts to do. It's basically we focused on it's basically a crosswalk enforcement thing. And we tried not to do any citations. It's more of an educational thing to educate the motorists to be mindful, because it's those crosswalks between the K2 Gallery, Balance Rock, and the Avalon, those three, super dangerous if people aren't paying attention.
Sure.
So we did those, and everybody, most of the motorists were super understanding, and they took the lesson and moved on. So
Okay.
I forgot to mention that last. And then the only other thing I got is our 2 new patrol vehicles. Finally got manufactured, and one of them arrived on the train in Salt Lake yesterday. The other one will be next week. So, and they're going directly to Premier from there. So they won't get here till they're done. That's all I got.
Okay. All right. Zach, do you have anything?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Hang in there, Zach. It was a big meeting tonight, and you're going to do just fine. You have all my confidence. No worries. Okay. For me, I'm just really excited about the Rio, and what we're doing down there is simply amazing. I hope everyone can come out April 10th at 1, 2, or 3:30. Just to experience the sound and the lighting that's going on, and the refresh. It's really amazing. So I hope to see you all there. At this point, I don't have anything else. Be looking for an Arbor Day Foundation event, and hopefully you can come out and join us to plant a tree or something here soon. And with that said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn by Councilmember Matsuda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Harwood. Councilmember Goldsmith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Harwood,
Yes.
Councilmember Matsuda.
Yes.
Thank you all for your patience today. Much appreciated. Have a good evening.
Bye.